Hello and welcome to another episode of MMOFTW here on MMORPG.com. I'm your host, Bill Murphy, and this is the week that was in MMO news. Now let's get right to all the nitty-gritty because there's quite a bit to talk about, okay? First up is Neverwinter and their upcoming module expansion, The Elemental Evil, starring Minsk and Boo from the Baldur's Gate series. It has been delayed till April 7th. Basically, they're just citing they need a little more time to polish it and test it before they put it on the live servers. It was originally scheduled to come out at the end of March, but now it's coming out just a little bit later. April 7th is your new date, and we'll have a preview and some interviews and coverage of the game and its new module as soon as we're able, so stay tuned to the website for that. And in Skyforge news, the closed beta has officially begun, and I guess really the first closed beta, because it's only a week long. It's ongoing right now. You can find my own preview, my own written preview is on the site from Friday. You'll find it right there. There's a nice big image. You'll see about 30 minutes of gameplay footage that we recorded as well. It's just the very beginning of the game, so really just kind of the tutorial and character creation and all that stuff. I like the game. I think it's a nice, fun, drop in and drop out kind of action MMO. It's not something that you would spend 10 hours at a time playing unless you're really into that kind of game. I think it's more of like a quick pick up and put down kind of MMORPG, along the lines of Neverwinter, actually. So if you like those kind of games, those sort of action combat filled games with sort of tab targeting, I would suggest looking into Skyforge because it's really pretty. There doesn't seem to be a whole slew of content in the beta right now, but there are a lot of classes with deep class progression, and you play it all with one character. You just flop between classes on the fly. It's actually pretty fun. It's not the deepest MMO in the world, but I mean really what counts is that a game's fun, and so far Skyforge feels that way to me. We'll obviously give our final review when the game officially launches later this year. And in Wildstar news, the next big update, Invasion Nexus, is coming out. It's bringing with it a whole host of new things, so let's kind of go over it. We have a brand new 20-person raid, a new PvP season with improved systems that will allow you to play against members of the same faction, hopefully cutting down on the queue times on your server. There's a new adventure mode. There's an advancing story in Levion Bay. Vanity pets are coming. There's a new vanity costume UI management, so you can pick what kind of clothes you're wearing and how you're showing off what you have. There's also new UI related frame rate drop issues are being addressed. There's a new Datacron UI, a new challenges UI. There are contracts, which are kind of like Guild Wars 2's reward system, where you pick this thing to do and it tracks progress and rewards you based on how much you do as it carries you throughout the world. A lot of different stuff basically is coming into this patch, and it's on the public test realm right now. We should be getting a live gameplay demo, maybe even a live stream with the Carbine guys to sort of go over all of these features in the next week or two, so keep your eyes peeled to the site for that. But it definitely seems like Carbine is not kidding when they said they're very committed to improving Wildstar and making it worth your subscription dollars. And next up is Camelot Unchained news. The first alpha for backers has begun. What I should say, it was just actually 72 hours, so it began and ended at the same time. But it was wildly successful. There were around 8,000 people already trying out the alpha. It went very smoothly, and there's even a builder sort of offline thing that you can download if you are a backer called Cube, where you can kind of build environmental buildings and things like that and mess around with the building while you're waiting for the next alpha test to happen. We will hopefully be getting into the alpha and taking a look at it over the next few weeks, hopefully, and when we're able to report on what we see in Camelot Unchained, we will. But it's nice to see that the guys have been working really hard to get the game to a playable state, and now the backers are getting their chance to see if their money was well founded. And by all regards, from what I hear from friends of mine, it seems to be exactly what they were hoping for. So I really wish those guys well at City State Entertainment. And in Secret World news, the Enhanced Player Experience patch went live this past week. Basically, it is sort of think a the NGE for Star Wars Galaxies if the NGE didn't suck. What it does is it's going to lower your time to kill on monsters for newer players and across the board, so it should make combat less of a chore to get through. Obviously, the hard monsters will still be hard, but they sort of took the ones that were what they would call trash mob and lowered the time to kill, so that it makes the combat more exciting from moment to moment. There are new UI improvements all across the board, new skill improvements, complete overhauls on a lot of skills, and they say that the whole goal is to make the game just more sticky feeling for all players that come in, because while they have their core niche audience, they really want to reach out to those players who might have tried the game and gone away, to have them come back. So this is the first step in many steps for the Secret World to sort of re-invite players back in. And interestingly enough, it seems that Joel Bylos is no longer the creative director on Age of Conan or the Secret World. He has moved on to a brand new project in Funcom that he can't quite talk about yet. He jokingly told me on Twitter that it was the 50 Shades of Grey meets Age of Conan, but I don't think that is exactly what it's going to be. So keep your eyes peeled. I'm sure we'll hear more about what's going on at Funcom and what game they're developing next fairly soon. And last but not least is some Archeage news. The Secrets of Ayanad patch has been released on the Archeage live servers, bringing with it a level cap increase, the Diamond Shores location on the northern continent, and the massive Ayanad library dungeon, plus a whole bunch of new housing zones for players to erect their own houses and stuff like that. It's really a massive content patch, gives a lot of late game, end game players in Archeage something new to do, including a whole new obsidian weapon set to achieve, and new gear, new costumes, all that good stuff. Really, the size of this patch is much akin to an expansion. It was a massive patch in Korea when 1.2 launched, and it's just as massive here. We got a nice preview of it over at PAX East a couple weeks ago, and we honestly, I gotta say personally, actually, that it looks like the kind of patch that would bring me back into Archeage if I already wasn't playing something else. So if you were a fan of Tryon's Archeage, despite all of the hullabaloo around the cash shop and all that stuff, and you've been looking for a reason to get back in, this might be the time to do it. It is free for everybody. It's on the live servers right now, so go check it out. And that'll do it for this week, folks. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube at MMORPG.com without the dot. As always, I'm Bill Murphy. You can follow me on Twitter at TheBillMurphy. And remember, don't let a bad pug get you down.